Hello there, you guys. Welcome to my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current latest news. Some more current reports have come out from the media, and I am going to be updating you with these reports on this video today. There's quite a few things to discuss, but the first topic of the development today I do want to discuss with you about is Ashley Young. Reports have just recently come out earlier today that reportedly Ashley Young is close to signing a new one-year contract with Manchester United. Well, in the process, Manchester United have been in talks for quite a while. In the process of trying to get Ashley Young to have a new one-year extension at Manchester United. Obviously, we're not willing to offer him a new long-term deal, considering that Ashley Young is obviously 33 years of age, and obviously he's only got a couple of years left of his career before currently he retires. Ashley Young, but as we all currently know, Ashley Young has currently been here since 2011. I thought that there could be strong speculation of him leaving, throughout the summer, because I do think we do need someone on that right hand side now, because I do think Ashley Young has passed it to be quite honest here. But I think there's a few key areas we do need to strengthen up. We need a central defender, we need centre defensive mid that's fast and tenacious, because the majority of our attack, all our attack coming from the left hand side, as we all know. But reportedly, Man United are reportedly in talks of securing Ashley Young a new one-year extension. Reportedly, negotiations are progressing very, very well, and now reportedly Ashley Young is on the verge of signing a new one-year contract extension with Manchester United. But as I said, he's been here since 2011. Obviously, he's our first choice right back is Ashley Young, and since he's been here, he's made over 200 odd appearances. He's just made under 300 odd appearances, since he's been at Manchester United. Obviously, he's one of the longest serving players here, is Ashley Young, as I said. But we did pay, £17 million for him from Aston Villa, back in 2011. So he's been in the Premier League a number of years now. He's been at Manchester United a good 7-8 years. Of course, he's won everything in English football with Manchester United, as well as Ashley Young. And obviously, mainly, he's our first choice right back, is Ashley Young. Obviously, he's taken Antonio Valencia's place, because obviously Antonio Valencia is now 33. He's been at the club, since 2009 as Antonio Valencia. He's been at the club since 2009. Of course, he's won everything here. He's made over 300 odd appearances, but he has struggled to get in the team this season as Antonio Valencia, and he has, that's game time. He's hardly played in the Premier League this season. There was strong speculation of Antonio Valencia leaving back in January. He did say Fulham and Newcastle were interested in Antonio Valencia, but I think he could be on his way out in the summer. But in relation to Ashley Young, obviously we create him as a right back. He has played on the left hand side a couple of times in that left full back position, but mainly he's a right back. We know obviously when he was younger, mainly he played as a winger, did Ashley Young. But obviously we seem to now these days use him as a right back, Ashley Young, as I couldn't said. And when he did sign for Manchester United, he did sign a 5-year deal. When we did get Ashley Young, but he's grown and developed over the years, and I think he's been a fantastic over the years. But I will be disappointed. I am disappointed with this, to be quite honest with you, that we're agreeing a new one-year extension, for Ashley Young on his contract. Considering I just think Ashley Young's past it now. I'd like to see Diego Dalot come into contention at that full-back position, to be quite honest with you, but Diego Dalot's only young. He's only, 18, 19 years of age, so he's only very, very young in his prime. He hasn't got enough experience, and obviously Ashley Young's obviously an experience, he's experienced is Ashley Young, because he's 33 years of age, as we all know, and he knows everything about the Premier League, of course, as well. But reports are coming out saying that Man United have been in talks for quite a while, and he's on the verge now of agreeing a new one-year contract with Manchester United. Is Ashley Young, as that has confirmed as well. And when he was at Villa, a good 5 or 6. He was at Villa at least 6 years, wasn't he? He actually played for Watford, before he actually went to Aston Villa. So he's been in the Premier League a lot of years as Ashley Young. But reports are suggesting now that Manchester United are close to agreeing a new one-year extension on his contract term, as I said. But we heard back in January that obviously, Anthony Martial had obviously signed a new 5-year deal with the club with an option of a further year as well, which was very, very good to see. Obviously, we give him a wage increase. He's obviously on around £200,000 a week now, is Anthony Martial, after signing a new 5-year deal. And obviously Solskjaer, wants him to grow and develop and improve more after basically, signing this new 5-year deal with Manchester United, Martial. And obviously, I think Martial's very, very good on that left-hand side, to be quite honest with you, Anthony Martial. I think he's very, very influential on the left-hand side. He's been scoring, he's been providing as Anthony Martial. So that was great news that we did sign him a new 5-year deal with an option, to extend by a further year. We heard back in January as well that Scott McTominay had signed a new contract as well with Manchester United, and I was disappointed, with that, to be quite honest with you. Scott McTominay signing a new deal, because he's actually one of our fringe players, Scott McTominay. But as I did say, in the Manchester United squad, we have got a few fringe players in our team. As I currently said, I think Lukaku's a fringe player. I think Lukaku, to be fair, has rejuvenated his form slightly, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, because we know Lukaku, for the majority of this season, he has struggled for goals. He hasn't been scoring a lot of goals, Romelu Lukaku. And as I did say, I do have concerns about his first touch, and his first touch does concern me, Romelu Lukaku's, because when you've got Rashford, who's very, very good, he's got pace, can press out the pitch. You've got who's got pace, who can press out the pitch. You've got Martial, who's got pace, who can press out the pitch and provide. And obviously Lukaku is not capable of doing this, and this is why we know. Obviously, Lukaku's not. Lukaku can't. What Rashford can offer up front, Lukaku cannot offer this, as I couldn't said. And we know mainly that under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer so far, that Rashford and Anthony Martial and all that, and Lingard have been first choice over Lukaku. And Sanchez, but in relation to Alexis Sanchez, to be quite honest with you, I think he's lost a yard of pace, to be quite honest with you. There's areas of Alexis Sanchez's game, he does need to adapt, to be quite fair, but he's not the same player that he was at Arsenal. He's Premier League proven. He's obviously on over £500,000 a week here. He's Alexis Sanchez, but he's not the player he was at Arsenal, and he's endured a very, very difficult time, since he's come to United. He's been here over the year, but as I did say, he has had a couple of injuries as well as Alexis Sanchez, but I think if he gets more of the chance, he could improve, and there's definitely areas of his game that he does need to adapt to Sanchez, because he's failed to establish himself so far, since he's come to Manchester United, as I couldn't have said. But we know mainly that Martial, Rashford and Lingard have been first choice over Lukaku and Sanchez and all that, as I currently said. But we know reports are coming out the other day as well in relation to Marcus Rashford, as we all know. Scored 6 goals in his last 8 games now for Manchester United. Of course, scoring on his 100th Premier League appearance, against Leicester. It was a great, great goal. It was a lovely, fantastic assist there from Paul Pogba, to show that technique and, the ability. It was a great, great assist, it was. And the touch and the composure, from Marcus Rashford was just absolutely unbelievable. And it was a fantastic finish. And that was obviously on his 100th Premier League appearance, for the club, as I said, and he's become the second youngest player, to make 100 Premier League appearances. I think that should actually, just behind Ryan Giggs. Ryan Giggs, I think, all in all, for Manchester United, I think he made over 600 odd appearances throughout his playing career when Manchester United did Ryan Giggs, as I currently said. But I think Rashford is on another level now, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, and I think everything's improved about Marcus Rashford, as I currently said. I think his goals, he's scoring more goals, he's playing more of a key role under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is getting more game time. I think he looks very, very effective, centrally, where does Marcus Rashford, he looks very, very effective centrally. I know you can play Rashford out wide, but I think in that number 9 role, I think he looks very, very effective. Also, in relation to Marcus Rashford, I also think his finishing's really, really improved as well, and he has got that end product now as Marcus Rashford, and I think he's one of the best young players in world football at the moment, is Marcus Rashford, and he'll grow and develop, and he'll get better and better and better, and he will flourish, will Marcus Rashford, under the management of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I've currently said, Manchester United, it come out in the press the other day that Man United have been in talks with Marcus Rashford about getting, Marcus Rashford a new contract at the club, because his current deal does end in 2020. Does Marcus Rashford's, as we all currently know. I think the is an option of a further year as well. But reports are coming out saying that Man United have been in talks of getting, Rashford a new long-term deal, because reports have been coming out saying that Real Madrid have reportedly, been interested in. Reports are coming out from the media suggest that Real Madrid are preparing to put around £100 million in for Marcus Rashford in the summer, reportedly. It did actually, I think Barcelona have showed an interest in him. Barcelona would probably indicate, Marcus Rashford as a good replacement, for Luis Suarez. But as I did say, Rashford's happy at Manchester United. He's been a Manchester United player since the age of 7. He's progressing up the ranks very, very well. He's grown and developed, and he's turned into an absolutely sensational player. And he's been in the senior squad with Manchester United, since 2016, as Marcus Rashford as well. But if we can commit him to this new long-term deal, as I said, we will give him a wage increase. I think we are willing to more than double his wages as well if he does sign this new long-term deal with Manchester United. And I think the deal is going to be worth around £150,000 a week if we can get him to a new long-term deal at the club. Reports coming out saying that Real Madrid were willing to offer him 100, plus offer him in the excess of wages of around £200,000 a week. But I think he's very, very happy at Manchester United, as I currently said. And I think, we are going to get him a new long-term deal at the club as well. As I could have said, whether we get him it now or whether we get him it in the summer or not, I do not know. But reports have been coming out saying, we have been in negotiations of getting him a new long-term deal at the club as well. That will be fantastic news, as I said. But, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm, he did say, contract negotiations were progressing, with the likes of De Gea. As I've already explained, Martial's already signed his new 5-year deal now with an option of a further year. In relation to Juan Mata as well, reportedly Manchester United have been in talks of securing him a new 1-year extension at the club as well. Man United have offered Juan Mata a new 1-year extension as well. Because obviously, in relation to Juan Mata, as I currently said, same with him, we're not going to be willing to obviously offer him a long-term contract extension, because obviously he's age 30 now. I think Juan Mata's nearly 31 now, and I think he's been a very, very consistent player, since we got him in 2014, from Chelsea, as I said. And he's been in the Premier League a lot of years now, so he's Premier League proven he's Juan Mata. We paid just under £40 million from Chelsea, and I think he's been at Man United now a good 4.5 years, 5 years now, as Juan Mata, as I currently said. Can play as an attacking mid, but mainly, does operate on that right-hand side, to be quite honest with you, does Juan Mata. We know under Solskjaer he hasn't mainly been first choice. We know Lingard's been favoured choice, on that right-hand side, above Juan Mata, as I currently said. But reports have been coming out saying that Man United, it come out the other week, actually, that Man United were reportedly have offered him a 1-year contract extension, because in the process, Man United have been in talks of getting Juan Mata a new 1-year extension at the club. But as I did currently say, he's won everything he's won everything in English football apart from the Premier League, and that's the only thing he hasn't won yet, Juan Mata, as I currently said, but he's won everything else. He's made over 200 odd appearances, since he's been here. But there were speculation coming out from the media throughout the January window that Barcelona were reportedly interested, because Juan Mata's agent had been to Barcelona, and Barcelona had reportedly, approached Juan Mata's representatives. It also mentioned that Arsenal had also showed an interest in him as well, because obviously he's had experience of working with Unai Emery as Juan Mata, as we all know, when obviously Juan Mata was a lot younger in his prime. I think he played under Unai Emery for around 4 years at Valencia, did Juan Mata. And I think he does miss Spain, because he had a lot of experience when he was a lot younger in his prime, playing in Spain, with Real Madrid and Valencia and all that, Juan Mata. But I think he's been a very, very good servant in English football, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, we have been in talks of signing him a new 1-year extension at Manchester United as well. But I hope somewhere along the line, that we can get Ander Herrera a new deal as well. I am hopeful that we can get him a new deal as well, because he comes to an end of his deal in the summer. And I think, to be fair, I've been very, very impressed with Ander Herrera. I think he's played a very, very big part in the team, especially since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in. I think Ander Herrera's played very, very well. I think he's getting more in the mix. I think he complements our midfield very, very well. And I do think he's very, very good at breaking up the play. He's Ander Herrera, to quite honest. And I think he looks good alongside Matic and Paul Pogba does Ander Herrera, as I currently said. But I think he's been consistent, since we got him in 2014, Ander Herrera, since Louis van Gaal got him. But as I said, I think he's playing more regularly from the start now. Solskjaer's coming, and he is playing a big part in the team. So hopefully somewhere along the line we can get him a new deal at the club as well. And we have been in talks of getting him a new deal at Manchester United as well. But yeah, so I do obviously, see players leaving Manchester United in the summer, as I've already updated you. Obviously, we know the club, are looking to hire a director of football to come in the summer before, obviously, we do commit to any future signings. It was a shame that we didn't make any signings, throughout the January transfer window, but as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm earlier on in the January transfer window when it was open, of course, he didn't expect Manchester United to make any signings. He said it was unlikely that Man United were going to make any signings, but obviously we can afford to spend quite a lot of money, in the summer. Reports are coming out saying that Man United are going to get around £200 million pound spending spree, to spend in the summer on a couple of players. But obviously we can afford, to spend quite a bit of money in the summer, because obviously we didn't invest in the January transfer window. As I currently said, we didn't invest in the January transfer window. But as I did say, I do expect, players to leave Manchester United in the summer. I expect quite a few experienced players, to leave in the summer. So it may be 3 or 4 out in the summer, maybe 2 or 3 in the summer, as I currently said. And it would be, interesting if we could try and, get some young players that could grow and develop and mould under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because I could see, some experienced players, leaving Manchester United in the summer. Obviously, the club, so we need to get some new additions into the club in the summer, because as I did say, we need a strong central defender. We need someone on that right-hand side. And because all our attack is coming from the left. I think attackively, we're okay attackively, to be quite honest with you. But I definitely think we need a strong central defender. We need someone on that right-hand side, because Young's past it. I think Valencia, as well, as I've already explained, will go in this summer, as I currently said. Because on the left-hand side, we look very, very good on the left-hand side with Luke Shaw and Pogba and Martial and all that. We look very, very good on that left-hand side. So I'm not worrying about the left-hand side. But there's still key areas in the squad where we do need to address, as I said. But obviously, we know the club is still recruiting, to get a full-time manager in at the end of the season, as we all currently know. Obviously, I still think it remains, Pochettino is the reportedly still the number one, to come in on a full-time basis at the end of the season, because the narrative in relation to Pochettino that it's been going on for quite a while now, that he's been heavily linked to come and take the managerial role at Old Trafford on a full-time basis. As we all currently know. But as I did currently say, I do expect players, to leave Manchester United, as I currently said. I do expect, Darmian to probably leave in the summer as well, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time, since he's come to Manchester United, Matteo Darmian. He's been here since 2015. Van Gaal just paid over, £12 million, for Matteo Darmian, as I currently said. But since he's been here, he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time. There were reports coming out, back in January, actually suggesting, he could have left, and he did say Juventus and Inter Milan were monitoring an interest in Matteo Darmian. And I think, obviously, we've activated a one-year extension currently on Matteo Darmian. Well, we've activated a one-year extension on Matteo Darmian's contract, so we can actually, cash in for the player in the summer, rather than, let him go on a free in the summer, as I currently said. But obviously, he's had a lot of experience of playing in Italy as Matteo Darmian, as I said, because he spent most of his playing career, in Italy when he was a lot young in his prime, as I said. But as I did say, with Matteo Darmian, as I said, I do expect him to leave in the summer. Marcos Rojo's another one. I expect him, to leave Manchester United in the summer as well, Marcos Rojo, because he's another one who's enjoyed a very, very difficult time, since he's come to Manchester United, Marcos Rojo. Obviously, he's good there as a backup option, as we all know, is Marcos Rojo. But to be quite honest with you, I do expect him to leave in the summer, because he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. He's struggled with his fitness regime. He's struggled to get a run of games under his belt, considering that he's had a lot of injuries, since he's come to Manchester United. Marcos Rojo. So there were all reports in January saying that we were looking to get rid of Marcos Rojo, to make a move for Koulibaly. Obviously, as I've already mentioned, Koulibaly is our number one target, to go for in the summer, as I currently said. But Marcos Rojo, I do expect him to leave in the summer, to make a bit of space, in that central defensive area. Obviously, we'll see Koulibaly is probably a replacement for him as well. But yeah, I do think, quite a few players, will leave Manchester United, as I've already explained. I do think quite a few players will leave. So I do think Darmian will probably leave. Marcos Rojo will probably leave. Valencia will probably leave. So there's 3 players there. Probably Young won't be leaving now at the end of the season, because obviously it's looking like we're going to giving him a new one-year extension on his contract, which I've already. This is the main part of this video. So it probably won't be likely he'll leave. He'll probably leave the summer after, probably when that expires after his one-year extension, of course. But yeah, I do think a few players will leave. So we'll want to invest in the summer and get some new additions into the team as well. But reports of I think Phil Smalling who go at the end of the season as well, who I've just forgot to mention, because Phil Jones and Chris Smalling are not on the same level or calibre as Bailly and Lindelof. I think Bailly and Lindelof complement each other, and I think Bailly and Lindelof should be playing together more often in our central defence. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and he's admitted that Eric Bailly's a big part of his team and big part of his plans. So Bailly will be staying at Manchester United. He'll be getting more game time now, because throughout the course of the season, Bailly has struggled to get game time under his belt. He's been in and out of the team, but I think him and Lindelof look very, very good in that central defensive position. And I think Bailly and Lindelof are on another level, to Phil Jones and Chris Smalling. There were reports coming out saying that Arsenal would interest him. It did say Paris Saint-Germain would interest in Bailly, but I think Bailly's happy here. Obviously, we paid £30 million for him. Was it from Villarreal back in 2016? So he's been here good 2 or 3 years now, as Eric Bailly, as I currently said. But I think Lindelof and Bailly, look very, very good together, in that central defensive position. And it would be good if we could get a strong central defender, alongside one of them, as I currently said. And Koulibaly looked fantastic alongside them. But obviously Manchester United are planning, to actually, go for Koulibaly in the summer window. Obviously, we have got that financial power, to meet his valuation, and we know it's going to cost us in the excess of at least 90, maybe £100 million to get Koulibaly. Even though it came out in the media the other day in regards to Koulibaly saying that his current agent, or is it his former agent, had revealed that it would cost us in the excess of around just under £90 million to get him this summer. as we all know, we wanted to get him throughout the January transfer window. We wanted to get Koulibaly last summer as well, but a deal never materialised, of course, because obviously in the process we had 3 bids turned down for Koulibaly. The recent one was around £95 million. That it did confirm that. I think this £95 million bid had put in when Jose Mourinho was still in charge of Manchester United at the time. But we've had 3 bids turned down in the process for Koulibaly, as that has currently confirmed. We've had 3 bids turned down. He's still got a contract with Napoli till 2023, but he's been at Napoli a number of years now, and he's grown and developed, fantastically well, as Koulibaly, as I currently said. And he'd be a great leader in our back line. He'd look good if you put him alongside Lindelof, Bay, because he adapts to his game very, very well. Tall as well, which is beneficial. He's about 6'5", is Koulibaly, as I currently said. But financially, Napoli would make a huge profit on him, because Napoli only paid, £7 million for him from Genk. As I said, he's a Senegal international, as I said, but he'd be a great, defender in our back line. And obviously he's unhappy, with Napoli. I think the majority of this was due to the racial abuse he suffered last year back on Boxing Day as well. This is why I think he feels unhappy with Napoli as well. But he's our major number one target, to go for in the summer, as I currently said. We know also to Milan Skriniar has also been mentioned in the media as well. 23 years of age, obviously 4 years younger than Koulibaly. Koulibaly's 27, but Milan Skriniar is nowhere near on the same level as Koulibaly, as we all know, or the same calibre, as I said. But as I did say, Milan Skriniar is a good player, rated at around £75 million. He's actually been on our, he's actually been on our list of transfers as Milan Skriniar. I think we were actually linked with Milan Skriniar last summer as well, but of course the deal never materialised. But we were linked with him throughout the January transfer window. I think a few other teams were interested in him as well, but he can play as a defensive mid. He can also play as a centre back as well. This Milan Skriniar, but only very, very young, so he's got a lot of years ahead of him, to grow and develop. But Inter Milan actually did confirm throughout the January transfer window that currently Lucius Spelt around in Milan in the process did confirm that nobody could afford him, reportedly because his price tag's very, very high. And probably going to be staying in Milan. But I think he's one of our major targets, to go for in the summer, as he did mention in the press the other day. Another name has been mentioned in the media today as well. I've actually heard of this player before. I think I spoke about him a long time ago on one of my videos. He's RP Leipzig centre-back. He's 28 years of age. If I pronounce his name wrong, I do apologise. He's called Dayat Upamecano or something like that. If I pronounce his surname wrong, that's let me know. But he's called he's called Dayat Upamecano, RP Leipzig centre back, only 20 years of age. Reportedly, Manchester United have identified him as a potential summer signing. So reports are coming up saying that Man United could go for him in the summer. It also mentioned that, I think it mentioned Bayern Munich were they interested in him as well. But as I did say, in regards to Bayern Munich, obviously they're looking to get some young players that can grow and develop into their team anywhere, because obviously they've got quite a few aging up players, as I've already explained to you. But reportedly this player's got an 88 million buyout clause in his current contract. This Dayat Upamecano. He's got, I think it's around an 88 million buyout clause, something like that. A nice staggering amounts of money for a player that's just the age of 20. He's an RP Leipzig. I don't really know much about him, to be quite honest with you. I know RP Leipzig bought him for £10 million. He signed a 4.5-year deal with RP Leipzig. I think he's previously been at Red Bull Salzburg in the past as well as this player. But again, only very, very young in his prime. Never played in the Premier League, as I currently said. But reportedly Man United have identified Dayat Upamecano as a potential summer signing as well. So his name also got mentioned in the media as well. We know that we've been linked, with Toby Alderweireld. We know that, there's been talks about Toby Alderweireld as well, that I have been hearing about him. Obviously, we were heavily linked, with Toby Alderweireld last summer, but in the process, we never got a deal over the line. But I do have concerns about, Toby Alderweireld, to be quite honest with you. If I'm going to be deadly honest, I do have concerns about him because he is age 29 now. He is aging up. I think he has lost a yard of pace. I think there's areas of his game now he does need to adapt. And I think he needs to adjust his game more because I think he's lost a yard of pace to Toby Alderweireld. I still think he'd be a good leader in our back line, if he did consider making the move to Old Trafford in the summer. Of course, we were linked to him last summer because we're in negotiations last summer of getting Alderweireld. Obviously, at the time, it was one of Jose Mourinho's targets as well, was Alderweireld. But he can prove to be a world-class central defender, when he's on form. He can play very, very well, can Alderweireld. But obviously, as we all know, Tottenham have extended his current contract till 2020. and obviously that includes a 25 million release clause for the summer. So that is a reasonable fee, you know, to be quite honest with you. He's Premier League proven as well as Toby Alderweireld, but as I said, I think there's areas of his game he does need to adapt, and I think he has lost the pace a little bit, you know, to be quite honest with you. And even if Tottenham were to get rid of him, they still have other options at the back. As I said, they've got Davinson Sanchez, they've got Serge Aurier, they've got Vertonghen, as we all know, so they have got other options at the back as well. But he probably could end up staying at Tottenham, you know, to be quite honest with you. Could Toby Alderweireld, or he will get sold in the summer, I do not know. I'm not too sure about that, to be quite honest with you. Not too sure about that, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, we've also been linked to him as well. Another defender I do like. I'm a big fan of Harry Maguire, to be quite honest with you. I do like Harry Maguire, to be quite honest with you. He was one of Jose Mourinho's targets last summer again, well Premier League proven. Since he's gone to Leicester, his performances have been very, very good, and I think he's been very, very lethal, you know, for Leicester City this season as Harry Maguire. I think he actually used to play for Sheffield United at one point, Darren Maguire, but I think he's a player that's good in the air. You know, I think he's really, really good from set pieces as well as Harry Maguire. So he's a player I do like. And I think he's only 25 and he's Premier League proven, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him as Harry Maguire as well. But he's been an ex-Manchester United target as well. But there's other players, you know, that have been mentioned in, you know, in the process as well. Because obviously the Man United board, they're preparing, you know, preparing of what players, you know, to come in, you know, to come into the club in the summer. We know that obviously that Benfica winger has also been mentioned as well in the process. Felix, can't pronounce his first name, but he's called Felix. Benfica winner. Reportedly in the process, if my club, Manchester United, have got any chance of getting the player maybe in the summer, then Manchester United would have to trigger his release clause and buyout clause, which is a staggering £105 million. I think that is something like that. He's only been in the Benfica first team last year when he broke into the Benfica first team, but reportedly since he's broke into the Benfica first team, reportedly his performances have been very, very good indeed. Felix reportedly can play as a winger, he can play as a mid, and he can play as a striker, so he's versatile. His play, I think he does mainly play as a winger. He has yet to make his senior debut for Portugal, as I said, because he is Portuguese, this player, but he is a very, very young player, and he's got a lot of years ahead of him to grow and develop, as I currently said. But as I did say, reports were coming out throughout the January window saying that a host of clubs were interested in him. It did say Liverpool had reportedly had a £61 million bid turned down for him as well, as it did reportedly say over Joe Felix. Reportedly, Liverpool had around the £61 million bid turned down for him. But as I did say, you know, Man United have instructed scouts, you know, to keep a close eye on the player. So he has been mentioned in the media as well as Felix. But yeah, we've been interested in quite a few players. We know that Jadon Sancho, you know, got mentioned in the press the other day as well. Jadon Sancho, very young again, only 18 years of age is this Jadon Sancho. But since he's broke into the first team with Borussia Dortmund, reportedly his performances have been very, very good indeed. Reportedly, it did reportedly say that it would cost us in the excess of around £90 million or something like that, you know, to get, you know, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United in the summer. It did say Man United have identified him as a possible summer target, Jadon Sancho, but obviously he's had experience of playing in the Premier League in the past, because he had a couple of years with City. You know, he never got into the first team with City, but he had a couple of years with City. He actually began his youth career, you know, with Watford. He spent a number of years at Watford, did Jadon Sancho, as I said. But as I did say, you know, City do have the a buyback option on the current player, but he is a very, very good player, and since he has broken into the first team with Borussia Dortmund, his performances have been very, very good. Borussia Dortmund only paid, £7-8 million for him, you know, from Manchester City. And he's been at Borussia Dortmund, you know, a couple of years now. He does have a contract with them till 2022, where does Jadon Sancho. But obviously, we know this season, especially, Jadon Sancho has been first choice over Christian Pulisic and that in the Borussia Dortmund team. But obviously, we know Borussia Dortmund have done business. Obviously, they sold Christian Pulisic to Chelsea for £58 million. Obviously, we know Pulisic is not going to be officially playing for Chelsea until next season, as we all know. But a £58 million fee has been agreed. And obviously, obviously Borussia Dortmund and Pulisic is young, he's only 20, and obviously they sold Ousmane Dembele as well for around £106 million, was it? To Barcelona the other year as well. I think they sold him for around 106 million, was it? Something like that. So they are two young players, Borussia Dortmund, have sold, but it would cost us at least around £90 million, to get Jadon Sancho to Manchester United in the summer. But do you think he complement our team very, very well? He has got good physical attributes. He can prove that he can score goals, and he can provide Jadon Sancho as well, as I currently said. As I currently said. But as I did say, you can see the vast improvements, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming to the club. And as I do keep saying time and time again, I do think he's the right man for Manchester United. Because as I do keep saying, he knows everything about the club. He knows the strappings of the club. He knows the culture of the club. Because I did say he's watched some of these players grow and develop in the Man United reserve team. Also won trophies when he was managing the reserve team. Won a lot of trophies, when he was a player, under Alex Ferguson, for 11 years. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But what did he score? About 126 goals in about 366 appearances in all competitions for Manchester United in that 11-year period, as we are all currently know. Solskjaer has been discussing about, getting the job on a full-time basis. Manchester United, he has been discussing about, and he definitely would. He definitely would take the job on a full-time basis. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if he did get offered it on a full-time basis. But obviously, we know that Manchester United are going for the top four this season. As we all currently know, there's quite a few teams, going for that top four position this season. My club, Man United, Chelsea going for it, Arsenal going for it, because Chelsea and Arsenal obviously want to be in Champions League football for next season, as I currently said, because obviously Chelsea and Arsenal are obviously in the Europa League at the moment. And it would be good, if we could win the FA Cup under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that would be a fantastic achievement, for Manchester United. If we could win the FA Cup, get into the top four. I still think we have at least a year off the league at the moment, because considering that we do need to get some into the club in the summer as well. But in my opinion, Solskjaer's brought the fear factor back to the club. He's brought the belief back in the team, and you can see the difference. I think we're defending better under Solskjaer. We're definitely, defending much better under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. As you can see, we're improving defensively, because we've only conceded 7 goals since Solskjaer's come in. Attackingly, we're looking very, very good, because I think you can see that they're determined to win games. These players now under Solskjaer, they're determined, to win games. They've got the right attitude. They're playing in the right vein, playing in the right manner. And as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm, wanted the players to express themselves, get them enjoying playing football again. And this is what he's exactly done, Solskjaer. And he did mention about rotating the squad, and giving everybody the chance as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer rotating, giving everybody the chance, including the young players as well, which Solskjaer has done, to be quite fair, as I said. But you can see the vast improvements, as I said, the structure of the team's right, the cohesion of the team's right, as I currently said. And I do think, Pogba's really, really improved. I think he's getting the freedom, to express himself, is Paul Pogba. And I think he looks very, very effective in that number 10 role, just behind the centre forward, as I currently said. And I think, that's when we see the best of Paul Pogba. And we've seen the best of Paul Pogba within this month or so now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I think most of the team's form's been rejuvenated. I think Pogba's form's been definitely rejuvenated as well. So Pogba's playing really, really well. He's scoring, he's providing, as we all know. And you can see the front men are getting, they're interchanging, they're getting the freedom to interchange closer together as well. We're getting full-backs out of the pitch, and I think you can see that the likes of Lindelof and Bailly, I said, are capable from playing out from the back. We've got good ball-playing midfielders as well, as I currently said. But you can see the improvements. Solskjaer's won 9 out of 10 games, 10 games unbeaten, as I currently said, 9 wins out of 10, as I said, 25 goals scored in the process as well. So you can see the improvement, and Solskjaer doesn't rest on his laurels, and he does show that inspiration. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If he sees a problem, he'll address that problem, and he'll change that game around. As I currently said, will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But yeah, so far so good under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I currently said. But as I said, I think the majority of the team have really, really improved. I think, the players are playing to the potential level, as I currently said. I've been impressed with Lindelof this season. Really, really improved. Matic has really, really improved since Solskjaer's come in. Looking more, his distribution's improved. He's looking more effective in his play. I think his passing's really, really improved as well, Matic's. So I think Matic has improved. I think Lukaku's slightly improved as well. But as I've obviously confirmed to you, the best 11, I think our best 11 is, whether it's a 4-2-3-1 formation or a 4-3-3 formation, our strongest 11 is, I think Solskjaer knows his best 11 now, is De Gea in goal, Ashley Young right back, Lindelof Bays a centre-back partnership because they look very, very good together. Luke Shaw at left back. Obviously, Luke Shaw's our first choice left back. This is a 4-3-3 system. Luke Shaw at left back, Herrera, Matic, and Pogba in the midfield, obviously, and Martial on the left. Rashford centrally and Lingard on the right. That is basically our best 11 in my opinion. And he played his best 11 against Leicester. Apart from Sanchez, if Martial had started from the start against Leicester, that would have been potentially, our strongest 11, our strongest lineup, as I currently said. But I think probably against Fulham, he'll probably go with a similar lineup. He may make a couple of changes because he does rotate the squad. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I think probably Martial could, should start from the start because in the last 3 games, Martial hasn't started from the start. He's come on as a sub in a couple of the games, but he hasn't started from the start, Anthony Martial. So likely we'll see him in contention, to start from the start against, Fulham. Unless he does rest a couple of players, for the game. He probably may rest a couple of players for the game on Tuesday night against Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League as well. But we will see what happens. But for me, Solskjaer should get the job on a full-time basis, as I said, because in my opinion, Pochettino is a good manager. He's done well with Tottenham. In terms of silverware, though, he hasn't won out Mauricio Pochettino. As I said, as I do keep explaining to you, there's been a few teams that have been interested in hiring Mauricio Pochettino. But in my opinion, Mauricio Pochettino hasn't won out in terms of silverware. His record at Tottenham is very, very good. He had a good record, when he was at Southampton. Tottenham have only spent, don't forget, £50 million since 2014. But Tottenham, to be fair, still in with a shout for the league this season. They're doing well considering that they've got Harry Kane injured and Dele Alli out injured as well at Tottenham. So they are doing very, very well. Fair play to them. And, they have come close on a couple of occasions. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a cheaper alternative. It wouldn't cost us that much, to recommend him in on a full-time basis at the end of the season, as I said. But obviously, if we were going for Pochettino, it'd cost the club around at least £40 million to get him in. To get him to Old Trafford, as I currently said, when the better option is we save that money that it would cost us Pochettino, keep Solskjaer, and get a signing with that money that it would cost us, to get Pochettino in at the end of the season. He did sign a 5-year deal with Tottenham last summer, as I currently said, and he has been managing what since 2009. He's good at growing and developing young players, is Pochettino as well. But for me, I'd just like us, to see I'd love to see Solskjaer, get the job on a full-time basis at Manchester United. And I've also forgot to mention today, as well, as I've just remembered right in my head now. I give all my respects, and I'm going to be paying tribute, to the Munich air disaster, back in 1958. I think it is the anniversary today as well. So I'm going to give all my respects and pay tribute. So how many years ago is that now? Is that 58, wasn't it? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 61 years today is that as well. So 61 years ago, that Munich air disaster, happened as well. So I'd like to show my respect and, pay my tribute as always. So anyway, that's mainly everything to update you today. The main part of this video is now about Ashley Young. I was discussing with you on this video at the beginning about Ashley Young. He's on the verge of signing a new 1-year extension at the club. Also talking about, other players, that are coming to the end of the deals as well, and talking about, other stuff as well, as I currently said. So anyway, drop your comments, likes below on the channel, guys. If you do